excited. Okay. Thank you guys for hopping on tonight. Tonight is March 7th. And I knew that before even hopping on because I got oh my God, it's March 6th. Son of a bitch. Damn it. I was so good. I was just excited about the sneak peek tomorrow that starts on the 7th. Got my wires crossed. Anyways, thank God you guys put up with me. And you don't really care what day it is because, that's what calendars are for. Apparently I isn't. I'm really excited for tonight's team call. As you guys know, well, some of you are brand spanking new, so you don't know, but 2018 has been freaking phenomenal for us. And I think especially lately, there's just been this huge fire that's been lit under a lot of our asses. Sorry, not sorry. And it's spreading. It's literally spreading like a wildfire throughout the team. And it's contagious. And I'm seeing it through so many of your posts, through your workouts, through your attitudes, through your confidence, it's just phenomenal. And it makes me so happy as your leader, your mentor, that I'm actually a part of this because it's just been a humongous light that went off and you all are shining so bright and your confidence is like booming and I don't know what it is, but let's not let that go away because it's freaking phenomenal. And it gets me excited every day I wake up. Even on cardio days, even on 80-day obsession cardio days, I'm excited because I'm like, yeah, after this workout, I get to work and I get to see all these cool people. And yeah, it's just freaking awesome. But anyways, so last Thursday, our very own Dana Chastain went, and no, I'm not marrying her. I really need to get my shit together when I'm coming up with the posts. But she went diamond, which is huge, you guys. This is when, for those of you that are brand new, this is when you truly become a leader. There's a lot of qualities that you can possess before you're diamond. And a lot of coaches on this call actually do possess these qualities and they're on their way to diamond. But last week, Dana did herself go diamond. And I asked her, I said, is there a way that I could actually interview you on the team call? Because I think people look at diamond as like this astronomical goal. They're like, oh my gosh, that's going to take me a year to reach. When I get on new coach calls with my coaches and I say, where do you want to be in 30 days? And they tell me this. And I say, where do you want to be in a year? And they tell me diamond. I'm like, why wait? Why wait? And the majority of the time they want to wait or they say that they're waiting is because they think it's so hard to obtain. And so on a leader Zoom that we were having that Dana was on, she was talking about diamond. Oh, wait, no, it was just our one-on-one. Just kidding. I'm confusing all of our calls that we get on together. But she was telling me that it takes hard work, but it's not hard. And that's when I knew. I was like, everybody needs to hear this because I could preach to the choir or I could tell you guys all day long that it's easy to recruit 5 coaches a week like I did last week, that it's easy to recruit from your challenge groups, that it's easy to do this because I've been doing this for 6 years, but it's easier to relate to someone like Dana than it is to me. And especially when it's new. And that's why I wanted Dana to come on tonight and be interviewed by me, by Vicki Chastain. So tonight, let me introduce you guys. It's Dana Chastain. She is newly diamond coach. She's from Louisiana, and she's a mom and a wife, and she quit corporate America this past summer, which is phenomenal. So with that said, Dana, before I jump into the questions, is there anything that you want me to or want to say?
Oh, no, I'm going to say it all during these questions, during this interview. I'm excited.
Good. If you guys have any questions for Dana or I during this interview process, I guess you will, you guys could post it in the chat box or feel free to answer or ask at the end. Okay, so let's get started. When and why did you become a Beachbody coach?
It was about the end of January 2016. Originally, my best friend, I had been saying no to her for a long time because I was like, I can't do any of that. I couldn't even do the workouts. I was like, can't do it. And what really drove me to do it is I needed the money. I had a new baby, and I had been diagnosed and had to go to a specialist, and it was just like a bunch. And it was weighing on my shoulders really bad. And I didn't want my husband to be gone more. I didn't want to be gone more. And so I started researching MLMs. And I was like, oh my God, this is a no-brainer. Like, my best friend has done this. Why have I not? And that's when she popped me in a sneak peek with you. And I was like, oh my God, I love this community. I think I can do this. And so I did.
How long ago was that?
That was, 2 years, like January. I want to say it was the end of January 2016. So yeah,
Okay.
2 years.
Awesome. Okay. So be honest, how long into coaching until it was a priority? And what I mean by that for you guys is a lot of times people sign up as a Beachbody coach, and regardless of their initial intentions, it becomes a hobby. That means you work your business when it's convenient for you. Like, you don't set business hours, you just kind of do it on the fly. What I mean by making it a priority is you are intentional with your business, you're intentional with your messages, you're intentional with checking in, you're intentional about leaving family time, and business time. So you've been a coach for roughly 2 years now, Dana. How long into coaching until you made it a priority?
Right. I want to say partially right away because I was super excited. So I dug right in the trainings and I committed every night. Once my baby was in bed, I committed like an hour. My husband watched TV. I sat down with the computer and I did all that. And then I was like, oh, people are going to come to me. I got that kind of like misconception. I did everything wrong, basically. Don't we all have to learn the hard way? So then after a while, I just kind of started doing it as a hobby. I was like, oh, okay, I'm never going to be able to do this full time. And I let it get in my head. I started limiting my beliefs. And I would say that it was probably January of last year, 2017. I was like, okay, I was hosting sneak peeks and I was asking everybody else what their big goals and dreams are. And I'm like, okay, well, here's mine. This is my dream to like do this. And then I was like, oh, and I said it out loud, and then I was like, holy crap, that's a really big goal. Like, that's a big dream. Like, can I do it? And then I was like, well, I have to start working for it. And then someone invited me on the Success Club trip, which I had not earned last year. They had an extra spot. And when I went and I experienced that and heard all the stories, and I was like, this is it. And I set a goal and I said by the end of the summer, well, no, at first I said by the end of the year, I'm going to quit. And then it was in July. But I just knew, like, I was like, I have to make this work.
I remember that when you were thinking about quitting and you're like, I want to do Beachbody full time. And you're like, but am I ready? And I'm like, are you ready? And you're like, if I do this, then I'm all in. Like, there's no going back. And you were like, every time I talked to you about it, it like gave me goosebumps because you were so freaking excited, but it's still that nerve-wracking moment that of the unknown, like a lot of us were coming into coaching, period.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, there's still things that I struggle with. And that's what people need to understand. It doesn't matter, I think, what level you're going to get to in your business. Just like a human being, we all struggle with certain things. But yeah, I know I remember you telling me, okay, well, if you want to do it, like, feel it in your heart, 5-second rule, right? And I had actually typed out my resignation the Friday before. And I couldn't find my boss. He was like in meetings all day. And I remember that Monday, I think it was the next Monday. And then he was at my desk and I was like, freaking out inside, and I was like, this is it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I need to talk to you about something. I remember that. I was like, 5-second rule.
Okay, so along your journey, before going all in, before corporate America, what has been your frog? And for those of you that don't know what a frog is, Brian Tracy wrote this book called Eat That Frog. And it's basically doing the hard things first, doing the thing that is the hardest for you to do. And everyone's different, but a lot of the times I've seen a very common frog, which is usually inviting. So I would like to know, what has been your frog? Has it always been the same thing? Has it changed along your journey?
I would definitely say inviting. I am a very blunt person. I can pretty much talk to anybody. And then, I mean, I think it just depends. I go through spouts and I'm just like, oh, I can do all this. I think consistency, period. It's my frog, everything all together. But I just with the inviting, I can post all day long. I can do this all day long. But with the inviting, it took me a while to do it, I guess, properly. I was being too, I was being like, okay, just for instance, I remember Christine told me someone called her recently and they were acting like they wanted to catch up and they were being like fake. Hey, how have you been? What have you been up to? And then boom, all of a sudden, I think you would be really interested in this. And I was like, somebody had done that. 2 people have done that to me and it hurt my feelings. And so at first, I think that's what I started doing with inviting. And that's when I was getting so many no's. And then that's when it started becoming not a frog, but like a bullfrog or a horn frog or whatever. And I was like, I can't invite anymore. Everybody's saying no because I was doing it wrong. I wasn't building those relationships. I wasn't truly connecting. I was just sending a bunch of crap to somebody to say yes instead of connecting.
Right. So do you think mindset has been a big focal point for you when it came to inviting?
Yeah. And I mean, I still have my issues. I'm a woman. You could call it hormones. I don't know. Some days are better than the others. But yeah, like I just get in my mood after I do my personal development and I feel like encouraged and like I have a lot to offer. I don't know. I really truly believe in it because who doesn't want to get healthier and happier?
Right.
The people just doubt themselves and they doubt they can do it. And if I can help them to do it, that's my responsibility. And like, it's easier to invite when you remember what you have to offer.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's easier to invite when you're actually being a product of the product and you're feeling good and confident and you're proud of, your non-skill victories and such. Okay. Now let's talk about Diamond. Before going Diamond or before even halfway there, did you think it would be hard to reach Diamond?
At first, no, because I believed so hard in this that I was like, everybody's got to love this. Everybody's going to believe in this. Why wouldn't they? And then I was like, oh, okay, this is a little bit hard. But I think that it was myself setting it up to be hard. I was kind of building the wrong team in the wrong ways. And I kind of had to reevaluate my mission and who I wanted on my team. Of course, I want discount, coaches. That's great. Anybody who wants that. But as far as like people that are really driven for their business, I just had to make sure that I was going for the right people and that I was truly making sure I have the true conversation with them versus putting all my eggs in one basket on people who really didn't want it, or maybe they wanted things too fast.
Right. Right. Absolutely. And there's a huge difference when, for you guys that don't know or haven't been a coach very long, there's a big difference of building your team with integrity, because some people will just add to add to add to add. And then that's when your business falls apart and you really don't make team cycle bonuses off of it. Like nothing good comes out of it. But when you are intentional, like you really handpick the people that you want to work with and your challengers and things like that, you build a really strong foundation and you're just happy in your business and you're working with people that you love. And it's a really good feeling. And just like Dana said, like she thought it was going to be easy because how could you not love this? Like, how could you not want to give this to other people? Like in reality, we love what Shakeology has done for us. We love what the programs are doing for us. We love the community and the support system. Like I can't tell you enough how many times I've heard, if I don't make a dime in Beachbody, I will never quit because of the community alone, and now we have a man on our team. Like we're booming now, we're moving on up. But I think like we get that excitement. We're like, who would turn this down? And I do think you're totally spot on. Like there's so much self-doubt that people have. And that's one amazing thing that Beachbody not possesses, but what's the word?
Focuses on?
Yeah, focuses on I was going to say, yeah, something like that, but is personal development. And, there's, I know you've doubted yourself a time or two. I have. I'm sure a plenty other coaches have. It doesn't, like Dana said, it doesn't matter what rank you are. It doesn't matter how long you've been a coach. You're always going to have, your inner critic pop up. You're always going to have that, jerk on your shoulder being like, you're not good enough. Maybe you shouldn't be doing this, or you got to take that no personally. But I love how
Sorry, go ahead. Well, just I'm so ADD, I'll probably forget. But like what you were saying, like, and that's the thing is, I still feel that way sometimes. It's like I love it so much. How can you not? And I get so excited with people. And so I'm actually reading. I'm very on edge with this book, you guys, because I'm not very salesy, and I feel like she's. I don't know if y'all read this. She is, but she isn't. Like she said, I don't know. Maybe she's just too straight to the point. But there's a lot of good information on here about objections. So remind me at the end. I actually want to tell you something she says about objections, because I love this so much. When people tell me no, I'm like, I've been letting too many people through my fingers instead of working to overcome the objections the right way. So
awesome. Okay, so do you think at any point of being a coach that you were standing in your own way? And if so, what made you get out of your own way?
Yes, and I wrote this down because I knew you were going to ask this. So basically, I knew that I wanted it, and I made it that I didn't have a plan B. I made it that way. I knew, and I know that's not the safest way to play it. I'm not going to tell everybody to go quit their job tomorrow. You know what I mean? It's not the smartest idea. But when I did it, I guess I just knew that I've always hustled. Like if something like I moved away from family when I was 20 years old. I don't think I had a job. I paid for rent 3 months in advance. And I was like, well, it's got to work. And I've always done what I have to do to make sure that I make ends meet regardless. So I was like, okay, well, this is what I'm going to do. But I would say that standing in my own way is basically limiting my beliefs. And that's another part of Beachbody with the personal development. It's like, yeah, you can lose all the weight you want. You can eat all the clean and healthy food and feel better. But like you as a person, this has changed me so much. So being able to talk with my team, my husband, my best friends, and really like even my mom, and just say like, this is what I really want. Like I need y'all to support me. And they've just been there like, and helped me like, you know, when you doubt yourself, like be able to tell you constructive criticism, but then also tell you like what you're doing really great at. I don't know. That's really it. Just limiting the beliefs. And once I just stopped and was like, get out of your own way.
Yeah, absolutely. Good. Awesome. Now that you are a diamond coach, was that actually hard?
It was not hard. I made it hard. Even though like right now my team is majorly made up of discount coaches. My spouse is also on my leg. And then I of course have my 2 emeralds. I think again, what I was doing is I was just going about it the wrong way. I was looking for the wrong people. I was looking for anybody to sign up. Maybe I wasn't explaining the opportunity properly or taking my time. I was just, oh my God, I want to sign somebody. I'm excited. They're excited. I love it. And I don't think that I was maybe setting them up for success. And so I think therefore, like maybe like I failed myself, you know what I mean? Like maybe like somebody left and went to another company. I can't prevent that. But if I let maybe more people just know up front, like this is like Joelle just posted in the other page, like this is a harvest. This isn't quick money. You have to whatever, plant your seeds and all that stuff. You know, like this is hard work, but it's going to pay off. You have to follow through. And absolutely, I don't think it's hard. And I plan to like get 1 star soon.
Yeah.
My stomach, right?
Yeah. Well, I think I gave you the 2-star, but I mean.
Oh, okay. All right.
We're not limiting ourselves here.
Absolutely.
So like there was something that you said, but then I was reading the chat, and of course you guys know me and my wishy-washy memory. There was something that you said about it being hard. What did you say? Oh, about limiting beliefs. Okay. So here's the thing. Like, I think so many times as, you know, we come into coaching, and I don't know about you guys, but when I got my challenge pack, okay, maybe you guys that didn't sign up with or everyone else that didn't get the all access pass, but when you actually got the big box with like the DVD set and the Shakeology, like I was so freaking excited. It was like Christmas morning when that thing arrived on my door. I was so excited, but before that, I did not work on personal development at all. And I honestly, like, to this day, I kick myself in the own ass because I'm like, reading self-help, I was like, that means there's something wrong with me. I don't want to do that. You know, why would I read self-help? And I used to like be a jerk and poke fun at people that were like into these books. Like I said, I'm kicking myself in the ass. Like, why didn't I get started, 5 years sooner? Where would I be then? But so I was so scared and so ashamed to put myself out there when I first signed up as a coach, even though I was so excited. And for those of you guys that know me, like, it's really hard for me to keep my true emotions, and like, I'm transparent as they come. So always hiding myself on social media or not talking about what really excited me or what, like, how I was feeling or anything. Like I was limiting myself because I had no growth system. And I think that's what happens with a lot of coaches. They come in here and they dive right into the training, or they dive right into the challenge group. And they're like, I don't need personal development. I don't need it. But then something throws them off, like too many no's, or, maybe their nutrition isn't on point. And so they're not getting the results they want. And so all of a sudden, what happens? Their limits they get to their limit and they're like, I can't do this anymore. And it's because they're missing that big chunk, that big elephant in the room, which is personal development. And it doesn't mean you need fixing. It doesn't mean that you're broken or something's wrong with you. It just means that you want to grow and improve and level up. That's what it is.
Yeah, I felt the same way. I was like, oh, because I've been in and out of therapy and I'm not ashamed of it at this point. I'm like, if it's bettering me, but I'm like, I've been through things like from a child. Like, I'm good. I know how to work through things. Like, I'm over that. But it's so funny because like even stuff you do now today, everything stems from your past.
Absolutely.
And that's okay. Like I think that you just kind of have to like learn to be okay with it. Okay, that makes me who I am. That's great. And that was one of the things when I was a coach, I first started, I was like, oh, and I don't even know if I bought a book right away or not, but I didn't read it. That's for sure. Like till probably 9 months in. And that's just when I started, not when I finished. I'm like the longest reader ever. Well, was. But anyway, so I would always tell my coaches, I would sign people. I'm like, oh, you got to read this book. And I would tell them, but I wasn't doing it myself.
Mm-hmm.
Like it wasn't until I started digging in to personal development. I'm like, oh my God, I want all the books.
Yep.
Give me all.
I know every time we'd get on a call, I'd be like, what are you reading? And you're like, I'm like, Dana.
Yeah. No, I seriously have I'm not lying to you right now. Christine is so lovely. She gave me tomorrow, the one I just showed you, Get Over Your Damn Self. The next one is Gifts of Imperfections. I already, of course, finished, but I have Dave Ramsey. I have a whole bunch now. I'm
awesome. Okay, so I have a couple questions in here real quick to ask. Okay. You are apparently Alexis's spirit twin. You're giving her goosebumps. Terry said, I think as a guy, it seems harder to draw people in. How do you draw people's attention? So Terry, what I've noticed, I haven't noticed because like I said, you're the first unstoppable guy. But what I've heard through the round table, with a 5-star and above, that guys run their businesses differently. And, girls are really into woohoo, cheerleading each other on, where I'm sure guys aren't going to be doing the same thing. But guys are more into hey, bud, you want to work out with me? Or, talk to people just like we say to our to girls that we meet, talk to them like they're a friend. They're a friend that you want to help. It would be no different for you talking to a guy, but obviously you would do it in your way, hey, dude, or, whatever. Hey, but I also heard guys really, hey, Rebecca is Terry's new coach, and she's on here. Hey, Rebecca.
Hi,
so another thing is I heard 2 things, either guys like challenge groups, they like the competition of it, or when guys join challenge groups, they're completely silent because guys aren't really into the sweaty selfies or the drinking the Shakeology. So what I could actually do for you, Terry, is I could look into some trainings and stuff to that is more geared to helping you, because I know that you have some guys on your team, or a guy on your team, and you're growing. So I don't want to leave you hanging. And we'll actually have that posted in the doc section too, to help everybody, because I'm sure I'm not the only one that is, going to have a guy coach. So we're going to rock it.
I was going
Okay.
to say too, I don't know if you have any friends that go to the gym or if you have a gym. I used to do both. I mean, I would do my workouts at the gym. I would stream them, and like I was doing Body Beast, and the guy actually came up to me and was like, "Hey, is that?" He like totally missaid it, but like he's like, "Yeah, I used to do that at home all the time." I mean, I don't want to work with men, but so I kind of let that one go. But I was like, "Wow, that would, you know what I mean? Like people know." So
Yeah. And then now that you're able to stream your all access anywhere, you definitely can take it to the gym. Okay. So how did you build the relationships with people? What steps did you take?
are we asking me? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't sure. Okay. How did you build the relations with people? Okay. Well, I did kind of the CCQ, which is the compliment question.
Mm-hmm.
So I just do that. I'm on the market council for here for the Louisiana. So we had corporate comments sit with all of us one time. And I remember Doug Moss said, one of the top coaches would, you know, when you're scrolling Facebook, obviously you're just wasting time scrolling. Half the time we don't even like or comment. He said, make the effort to like and comment, but because of the algorithm, you're only going to see, of course, so many people. So go to your friends list, 20 new people a day. Because you should, I mean, most of us have hundreds of people on our friends list. So if you go to 20 people a day, you pull up their profile. And this seriously does not take very long at all. It sounds like it does, but it doesn't. Your profile, friends, and then start with the list. Go 20 people down, their profile. If they haven't done anything in a month, message them and say, hey, I haven't seen you in a while. Just thinking about you, whatever. If they have, like, comment, and whatever it is, move it to their inbox. I'm just friendly like that, though. So people kind of expect that from me. Like if it was their dog or their vacation or their kid or something, I just try to move that conversation to their inbox. And Instagram's a lot easier too, though.
Oh, absolutely. I agree. And also there is, for those of you that need help in that area too, there is in the file section, the invitation guide that Kim Carver created that is awesome when it comes to building relationships and, you know, getting to the invite. But it's not a script, which I love because we don't want to be like the copy and pasters like a lot of direct sell companies do. But it helps you, like it guides you into the direction in a conversation. And every conversation is different, so it's really helpful if you want to take a look at that. How do you handle the conversation when talking about coaching with people who have negative feeling towards direct sell companies?
That's where this is going to come in handy. Okay, so many times before, and I get it because I felt the same way. And I'll just be honest. I'm like, oh my God, me too. Like I thought it was going to be like me. I was going to have to like buy this. I'm like, but I really love it, you know. And I kind of just explain like how it's benefited my life. Like I'm not really pushing sales. I'm not pushing anything. Like I'm truly helping you. And if that's a sale, then great. But in here, her objection says things like, instead of saying, oh gosh, who Instagrammed me? Y'all, hold on. This is going to get real for me because there's several people that are in my Instagram right now, and they either used to coach or they didn't do it. Let me see what I said to girl one day. Oh, she was, no, thank you. I'm not interested in marketing, multi-level marketing. You can just keep inspiring other women, but you are a true inspiration. So I don't know if that was a compliment, but I just like, okay. I was like, well, thanks so much, but what makes you think this isn't for you? So I just kind of came back and I made it about her versus the business because she doesn't really know just from what she said or heard or whatever. So, you know, I would just ask them like, well, what is it that you think I do? Or how much time, you know, whatever. I just come back with a question rather than a statement because it's going to keep them engaged. It's going to keep them talking about it. And yeah, that's really it. I mean, I haven't had too many people be like,
well, unfortunately, there are like companies that put a bad taste in people's mouth that always post salesy kind of post, or there's even some Beachbody coaches that didn't get proper training that all they post is P90X this and 21 day fix this and Shakeology this.
I did it first.
Yeah, I did too. Every time my time hop comes up, I'm like, thanks Facebook 6 years ago. This is why I'm here to teach you not to do what not to do. But you know, some people get a bad taste in their mouth and some people present them very pushy, like, and so you can also say, you know, I don't know what you experienced before, but I personally know that Beachbody or that my team or that this opportunity or whatever is X, Y, and Z. And like Dana said, share your feelings, like share what drew you to it, share your experience, you know, like people could say, oh yeah, I don't need Shakeology. I drink Isogenics or Plexus or Herbalife or Slim Fast or whatever. And you could be like, you know, I don't know a lot about that, but all I know is what Shakeology has done for me. And, you know, a lot of people, like Dana said, a lot of people really don't know, you know, and the best thing you can do is be kind and not take offense, not get defensive, because chances are 99% of them really don't know. They just know of what they've experienced before, through someone they didn't know, or, you know, something like that. So
yeah, I totally thought I was going to have like house parties or something. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know. I thought I was going to have all this stuff too. And that's why it took me 2 years. But then I finally opened up and asked all the details. And that's the thing a lot of people are afraid of. It's just say, hey, I would like to explain why I do this, because I was skeptical too. And sometimes when you just open up back to them and you show a little bit of vulnerability, they'll kind of give you more of a chance, I guess.
Right. Absolutely. Before I forget, Christine has a story to tell at the end. But Terry asked, how do you handle someone that wants a challenge pack to try and not be a coach at this time? Honestly, I would encourage it, because if I don't push personally, if they're not ready to coach, I don't push it. I definitely want them to be like, whether they sign up as a challenger or a coach at first, I want them to be a challenger at all times. So I would have them sign up as a challenger with a challenge pack or whatever they want, and really focus on getting them results, being a product of the product. And then, you know, you could be like, dude, you're turning into a walking billboard, or girl, or, you know, whatever you say, you're turning into a walking billboard, or how are you feeling? You're feeling great. Why don't you pay it forward? Or are you ready to pay it forward? Or join one of our sneak peeks, because we have them all the time. Something like that. Does that help?
Yeah, this is like I actually had this happen today. Like, it's a girl. She stays from home and she's been looking for a job. She doesn't really need it. She just wants extra money and stuff. And we've been talking for a while now. She's just iffy. And I was like, but she does want to work out. And she's like, I think I'm ready to work out. But she was just saying like, yeah, but she does need extra money and about it costing. And I said, well, that's why you need to coach. Like, I was just very friendly, but then again, that's just my personality. I'm very friendly with it. Well, that's why you need to coach. Emoji, whatever that is. Would you do that in real life? I use that all the time. Sorry. And I was like, an hour.
I will now.
I was like, an hour a day plus time for your workout, build your business, and get that extra money. Just saying, LOL. Then I just moved the conversation. I was like, so how have your classes been going? And then she's like, LOL, you're right. My problem is I have a hard time focusing. And I was literally in the bathtub, not saying that these were my work hours, but I talked to this girl outside of coaching. I literally sent her a picture of me in the bathtub, and she's like, I have problems committing and staying focused. And I'm like, guess who else does? Me. But the reason that I do is because of my community. And I just sold her on the community and let her know, like, I wouldn't be doing this after 2 years, you know, with nobody, the workouts or coaching. But like, you know, so I was like, if this works for you, great. But you sign up as a coach for free. You have 30 days. You can figure out it is or isn't for you.
Right.
Risk.
Right. Awesome. I love it. I love it. Being real. Okay. Does anyone else have any questions before we get to the story? I'm very intrigued here. I don't think anyone's going to ask any questions now, because I'm sure everyone wants to hear the story.
Oh, dear.
All right, Miss Christine, I'm going to unmute you.
It's not like a super juicy story, but I mean, okay, so I don't know if many people on this call, probably no one, knows me and Dana's backstory. So one of Dana's best friends is my husband's stepsister. And this goes back to 2007 when I had first started dating my husband. And it's like 2:30 in the morning, and I'm at his house and I'm sleeping. And all of a sudden, it's like freaking loud in his house. And I'm like, he comes in and I'm like, what the hell is going on out there? And he's like, oh, it's just Dana and Becky. I'm like, who are these bitches? And what are they doing at your house at 2:30 in the morning? And he's like, whoa, wait, like, slow your roll. He's like, that's my stepsister and her best friend. I was like, okay, whatever. So I think I maybe walked out and like showed my face and was like, hi, like super bitch mode. And whatever. So that was that night. And then like, I don't even know what happened after that, but somehow like, I don't remember. It was 2007 and there was probably a lot of alcohol involved, but somehow Dana got my phone number. So when she said earlier that her frog was inviting, now I know she meant in the form of like doing it the right way, but that shocked me because I have never seen that as a problem. Like talking to people is not a problem for Dana. She would be the person, like, mind you, like I barely knew her. And she'd text me and she'd be like, hey girl, how you doing? How's your week going? And I'd be like, oh, good, thanks for checking in. And then 2 weeks later, hey, just thinking about you. What's going on? What are you doing? And I'm like, okay.
I made her my friend,
This was before she was coaching.
This was like, we're talking like circa
now she's branded. Now she's branded. She ain't going nowhere.
Yeah. No, but I'm saying like for a long time, we would just, they would come into town and we'd hang out. And, so when she said that her frog was inviting, that even shocked me. Because I know she mentioned personal development a little bit. And I remember a specific conversation that she and I had at one point, because her office was really close to where my office is. So I would need to like escape my office and I would go eat lunch with her like every day. And so we would sit outside and we would talk. And she said, I don't know how we got on the topic of it. And I was like, okay, Dana, so like you're inviting, you're doing this, you're doing that, you're doing like all the vital behaviors. And she's like, yeah. And I was like, but you don't open a book ever. Like we had a conversation about personal development. I was like, that's your only missing link. That's the only missing link because you're doing all the other important things that you need to do. And she's like, I know, whatever. And then we did Diamond Mind Group. And how many minutes of PD did you do this week? And Dana'd be like, wait, what's a book? Like,
wait, what's PD short for? I forgot.
Like, what is that? So like, I guess the moral of this story is like even in the last probably 6 months, like even after she quit, it wasn't until after that like she really got consistent with the personal development. And since she got consistent, like she did a 180, absolute 180. And it wasn't until she kind of inserted her little missing piece.
Mm-hmm. So. I fully agree.
Yeah. And I'm telling you, if anybody can learn, and I know Vicki says this all the time, and how I wish, and I just said this to my coaches, how I wish that I had listened to her. Like, obviously people know what they're doing. This stuff's been in place. There's the material's there. It works if you do it. And I wish that I had listened so bad because I could have, everybody in their own time, but I felt like I wasted too much time not being productive. And I could have just been somewhere else by now. Not financially. I'm not worried about that, but like just as a whole, as a person, like I am a truly to the core better person because of these damn books. And because of everything else. So if there's anything you take away, it's just listen to Vicki.
Yeah.
When we post stuff, Mama knows what she's talking about.
That's right. That's
We're
right.
like little kids fighting their mom.
I don't want to. I'll do it later. Do you take notes when you read personal development, like biggest takeaways from a chapter or anything?
I don't take notes because they just end up all over my desk. Sometimes I do. If it's a huge takeaway, I will take a note and put it on like my computer. Like there was the Miracle Morning. Like I needed to know the steps so I could actually do it. I do highlight in my book, which I used to be so against. And I'm having a hard time because I borrowed a book from Christine and I can't highlight. So I have these tabs. So what I do is when I finish the book, I go back through and I read all of those pages again or whatever. Like if I don't remember where it was, because I can highlight it. But I think it's very important.
If you would go ahead and highlight the things you like so I don't have to re-highlight it, that would be great. I like the Cliff Notes.
Okay. But yeah, no, I mean, it just depends on your style. Like I just know that I never look back at my notes until I'm cleaning my desk a month from now, as you can see needs to be done. So I look back at it and I'm like, oh, that's great. And then I put them in a pile to make one big note later, and then it doesn't happen. So I'm just not a note taker. I'm more of a, that's great, I need to take action on this right now kind of person.
Well, one thing that you can also do, which I started doing, it was Angie that wrote that question, right? Yeah. Okay, is Angie, do you still do your miracle morning? Like your goals, your affirmations? Uh-oh. Oh, shit just got real. Okay, so so tomorrow what you're going to do, remember Dana just said listen to Vicki. So tomorrow what you're going to do is you're going to have your little notebook where you're writing your goals and your affirmations and your gratitude, right? But before you do that, while you're reading your personal development, you can journal your biggest takeaways or bullet point the things that you're going to start implementing, like action steps, the things that you need to start doing, whether it's you need to tell yourself something or you need to let go of this or you need to do that or whatever. I actually started doing that when I was reading How to Stop Feeling Like Shit, because she gives you a lot of action steps. Basically, there's like a 40-page questionnaire that you can download, like a PDF or whatever. But you can literally use the page every time you read, or a half a page or whatever, and just jot down things that you want to start doing. And like I've always told you guys, there's something powerful about pen. Yeah, Nicole has it right there. There's something really powerful about pen and paper. The 5-minute journal. Yeah, the pen and paper, when you're writing it down, like you can type it in your note section on your phone all you want. Like, oh, I'm going to start doing this and da-da-da. But you won't remember it unless you go back and look at it. But if you write it down, like I always tell you guys to write your affirmations down, write your goals down, like pen and paper. If you write down the bullet points of action steps that you want to take, you're going to remember it. And especially if it's right smack in the morning, right? Your miracle morning time.
This is what I do now. I was so against this too. This is a story. Okay, so this is what happens. This is just me because I'm not organized, and that's my goal for 2018. This is just an example of like 40 million that I put in a stack to read for later. I was so against planners, and let me tell you why. I have an addictive personality. When I do things, I like to do them, really do them. So I was really against it, and I was really against stickers and taking time away from my schedule to make things pretty, because I felt like I could be coaching. I could do, other stuff. Well, now that this is my full-time thing, like I have to be organized. And so what Vicki was saying about do your, the things, your takeaways, or the things that you need to do the most. So I do that. So just for example, what is today? Okay, just for like Thursday, just for example, I have a whole list made out. I'm sorry, my kid is screaming. I'm going to do my regular power hour, like all my vitals, everything I'm supposed to do, everything. But these are things that I'm like, I need to work on. Is my shout outs, to update my team page, and invites, because I will let a day slip by that I won't send any, and I can't do that. Even though it's on that list to check mark, that's something I had to write down because it had to be drilled in my head. Like, you have to do this. Plan posts, do a workout video, because I haven't done very many of those. So it's like certain things that I know that I need to work on, even though it's on my other checklist sheet. It's like me saying, Dana, you really need to do this. And then objections, because I've been letting too many people slip by. Way too many.
Alexa's asked, do you have a PD or training that gave you that aha moment?
Oh, all of them? I really did. I think I will say the 10X rule. Because, and I have that on audio, and I don't do a lot of audio, but maybe I just haven't given it the chance, but the author read with this one, so he was really into it. But when I listened to it, it was basically just talking about if you're doing anything, like, do it full force. And when he related it to things other than business, like your marriage, like, okay, you're married now, so what? So is the love based on your marriage, on the wedding day? Are you going to coast on that for the rest of it? Or are you going to keep working on it? Are you going to make it bigger and better? And, you're going to go out of your way for this and that. And I was like, oh my God, this hits home. It's the same thing I want with my business is, why am I setting myself short and limiting my beliefs? Because all of my life, just a little tiny backstory because we have to go soon, but I didn't complete college. I became addicted to drugs, and for a year I was just doing my own thing. I didn't care about anything. I didn't think I would equal to anything. My parents didn't save for college for me. They pretty much just told me, like, that's just not my life. That's just not the road for me. But they didn't pave any other way for me. I didn't know what I was supposed to do. So I always just limited my beliefs, thinking I can't do what I want to do. I don't have a passion in life because I can't pay to go to school to do this. Or if I do go to school, I'm not a good student. Or like just limiting my beliefs of everything anybody's ever said to me in my life. I just started believing it about myself. And so when he just said, like, stop, you're the only one that's responsible for your future, not somebody that told you this, that, and the other. You are. What do you want? What do you believe in? Put everything that you have 10 times into it. And so that's when, that was when I got one of my first highest paychecks. Not that the money's the issue, but like when I started actually putting 10 times the work in, that was one of the times that I got one of my highest ones.
Awesome. And, there was a national wake up call, like, I don't know, a year ago, and I don't remember it was summer something. But she talked about, like, when you go to Summit or you go to Super Saturdays, or you read these, personal development books, or you watch these trainings or listening to these podcasts, like, you always expect to hear that aha moment, that thing that's going to light the fire under your butt. And she's like, actually, if you pay close enough attention, it will all be your aha moments, because when you're not actually putting in the work and just reading, then no, it wasn't Summer Engel. That name doesn't sound familiar, but she said when you actually like implement what you learn, that's when the magic happens. Because so often, people will say, I'm going to read 52 personal development books this year. And in actuality, they're only going to implement what they learn out of one of them, one out of 52 books. So why don't you read that one book 52 times? And because so many of us, like, I'll be honest, like, there's a lot of personal development books that I've read that I haven't implemented. I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. Oh, I really need to start doing that. Oh, this, oh, that. But then do you take action? Because I think that's where a lot of people fall short in any area of their life. Relationships, business, physical wellness, every area is we don't take action. But that was just, ever since then, hearing like aha moments, like, it's so true, because everywhere you can go to one of the girls or guys team like page on Facebook, and you can get an aha moment. It could be a big takeaway that you're like, oh my gosh, I really need to light my fire, or I need to get going, or get out of my own way, or stop limiting myself, or whatever. But
I will say another one with and I always get it wrong, Girl Code, that I got from Summit. Some of the book, it wasn't one of my favorites, but it was good. It had its bits. And there was one I remember her saying, like, just about like, don't envy or don't be jealous of the next part. Because we do that. We see the other coaches. And I won't lie, when I first started, I thought, oh, all these successful coaches, they were probably just some husband's rich wife, and they'd already had the money, and they're probably not. I let it get in my head, because it's not coming easy for me. It must be a trick, And so I thought all that, and then, of course, my mind changed on that. I got to know a lot of the coaches, but when I read that in her book, it's like, stop comparing and stop being jealous, and ask her what she's doing. Ask her for help. Like, obviously she's doing something you want to do because you're feeling a little bit jealous, and it's like, just reach out for help, ask her, or watch what she's doing and be inspired by her. So that was another huge aha.
Yep. Awesome. Well, Dana, thank you so much for this call tonight. It ran, you guys hung out for a while, and I appreciate it, but I got a lot of takeaways from this, and I hope that, your fire is still lit and still going. And, like I've said before, I know 2018 is going to rock for everybody if you let it, right? If you let it. Don't hold yourself back. Don't stand in your own way. Don't let circumstances derail you. You are not a product of your circumstances. You can prevail beyond. I don't know. I'm trying to get all like philosophical with you.
Sounds good. Yeah, this is good.
As long as it sounds good, that's good. But you guys, like, we have such amazing momentum, and I really love the community, the support in this, and we've always had that. And I think when we lead with that, there's no way that people would turn that down. Like, everyone needs a friend. Everyone needs someone to be there for them. Everyone needs someone to guide them, to help them, to be there for them. You know, we all need that. And we need to start capitalizing on that more. Don't forget that tomorrow, me and Dana are hosting our first sneak peek for the month. It's a 3-day sneak peek. I posted the link in the group or in the Big Team page earlier today. If you're not in it and you have people that you would like to invite, go add yourself. We are doing these weekly, FYI. I posted another post about that earlier. There's just posts left and right. And then, what's next? Oh, yes. And then there is a 5-week to diamond push power hour action-oriented group. Oh my gosh, say that 5 times fast. That starts the 12th. It's me and 10 other 5 to 8 star diamond coaches that are leading live power hours and being really action-oriented. In order to be a part of this group, you have to fill out an application. So if you need to, or if you want to be a part of it, message me. I'll shoot you the application. You have to be an Emerald coach by the 8th, which is in 2 days. You have plenty of time. And you also have to commit. Be convicted. That's all I'm asking. So with that said, I'm going to end the recording. So thanks for watching the recording.